Hey friends, Leslie from A Friend to Knit With. I haven't podcasted in about 2 years, so I thought that this would be a good time. Week 4 and self-quarantining and shelter in place would be a good time to get back at some things that I have been wanting to do. So I hope you are all well. I hope you are all staying safe. I hope you're getting through your days with some ease and some peace. I know for me, routine is huge and it helps me to stay grounded. And I'm not saying that these days have been easy because, there are a lot of emotions that go along with this. So it does help that we're not really in the same boat, but we are in the same boat. So I know every situation is different and that makes us not in the same boat. But the fact that we are all trying to keep each other safe, or hopefully we are, is very comforting. So I'm trying to do my part. I have actually only left the house 3 times in 4 weeks. And I've never even gotten out of my car. One time I followed my son to the golf course. He was gonna go, the golf course was closed, he was gonna go and play. He could still play, but just to make sure he was only going to the golf course, I followed him. And he got about halfway there and I was like 3 cars behind him and my phone rings and he's like, "Mom, why are you following me? Why are you going to the golf course too?" I was like, "I was just making sure you didn't go anywhere else." So I went there. Maybe some of you can relate to that. I went there and then I did a couple of drive-bys for my knitting friends to help them with their knitting. And then the third one was I went to the post office. Didn't go inside, I just dropped it in the box. So that's it. I'm okay with it. As much as I love to travel and go, for some odd reason, I can also stay home and be completely content with being here. So yes, that back there is a plastic shield that's over the door from the dining room into the kitchen because a week before we went to shelter in place, we decided to gut our kitchen. So we're sheltering in place without a kitchen. And it's okay. We have a setup in the basement. It's working out well. But I didn't think that I would be cooking as much as I was. Thought we could go out to dinner and travel. But it's all good and there are meals coming out of there. Thankfully, my husband can go pick up food at the grocery store. He hasn't even gone in. So anyhow, what I have been doing, I haven't been sewing a whole lot. I mean knitting. I've been sewing a little bit. I've been making masks. I do have some knitting projects to show you, but I'm getting better about knitting. But the first couple weeks, all I could do was organize things and move things around and get that kitchen together downstairs so that I could make meals. And I don't know, my mind just couldn't sit and knit. So I'm definitely getting better. Towards the end of last week, definitely could hunker in on the couch and watch some Netflix and knit. So thank goodness. But I did sew, starting last week, I started to sew masks just for family and friends, and I found a couple of great tutorials. One is Mimi G Styles. I mean, there are so many fantastic tutorials out there, and everyone has their own sort of idea of how these masks should be. Mimi G Style has a great template. So I really like this style of the masks. It's machine washable and dryable because you use an interfacing, interfacing. Yes, I use iron and interwoven. Oh, it has to be non-woven interfacing to protect you from the virus getting through. So just 2 layers of fabric is not enough. You should put some interwoven facing in. But what I really wanted to tell you about were these straps. And I know that you can make these straps out of old t-shirts material, but Wool and the Gang sells jersey, honest wool, and it's not very expensive. I think it was like $11. I had these from some older projects that I was doing. At one point I made Libby a bag out of this, and I forget what I was gonna do out of these. But I have these cones of all this jersey, and it's great, it's stretchy, because elastic apparently is very hard to get right now. And I had a little bit of elastic, but I ran out of my elastic as well. So those are the type of masks I've been making. The fabric patch, I'll link all this below, but the fabric patch has some great information on exactly what is needed in the mask. So if you're into making these and you wanna look into it further, I will link that. And then on Easter Sunday, we decided to do some tie-dyeing, and Libby, my daughter, cut out some pieces, so I'll make some tie-dyed ones next, which I thought would be fun, with the neon or with the pink. So yes, right now I'm just making them for friends and family. Libby has a bunch of her friends that need them, and I made some of these for the neighbors. But anyhow, that is what I have been working on mostly. And the weeks before that, honestly, you guys, I've been making pot holders. I've already given some of these away, but remember these pot holders? I mean, maybe your kids are still making them, but I had all of these. I have since ordered some loops, but I had all of these old loops from when I was young, and I wanted to show you that my grandfather made the loom. So if you or your husband have some nails and a board, you too, there are 25 nails across each, and it's spread wide across 7 inches. So it's a 7-inch square, because you need the 7-inch loops, and then the actual pot holder, I guess, goes to 6 inches finished after it shrinks in. But you just literally hammer, you can measure it out, and so it's like every centimeter you have a nail, and you'll have 25 nails on each side. And that's all you need. It's a little harder on your fingers, and definitely harder on your fingernail polish if you're doing Mani Mondays. But it's easy, convenient, and then, you know, these loops were on Amazon. I also, oh my gosh, Amazon was out of white, and I wanted to order some white ones. So I will link where I just ordered it, but it was a yarn company or a yarn supplier, and I found some white loops on there. So I will let you know that bit of information as well. All right, so that's pretty much the things that I've been doing besides knitting and besides cooking and besides baking. But in the last couple of months, I do have a few things that I could show you as far as my finished objects. Wool and the Gang also has this. It's made out of Take Care mohair, and it is the hotline sweater. And I made my daughter Libby one of these, and as mohair tends to do, it grew. So she asked me how to wash it. She left it here after Christmas break, and I washed it and kept throwing it in the dryer to make sure it wasn't shrinking too well. And then I tried it on, and I loved it so much, so I ordered it. So if you are new to sweaters, if you are a beginner knitter, if you want to teach someone how to knit a sweater, this is the easiest sweater ever. It's stockinette. It literally is 4 pieces, and then you add the turtleneck part, which, you know, if you don't want that, you don't even have to do that. Just finish it off, pick up and bind off, and it'll just finish your neckline for you. But, oh, when I do these, only because I've done 2 of these, but I don't, you might like it like that. I don't prefer, the right side is supposed to be the purl side, and I just prefer a knit sweater over the purl side showing. So anyhow, that is a really fun, yummy, it's not at all itchy. I'm pretty sensitive to different fibers, and for some reason that I am okay to wear the mohair. So the other thing I wanted to encourage you guys to do was, if you have some yarn during this time, you want to knit a sweater, and instead of looking for, take one of your favorite sweaters you've ever made, and then just find the yarn in your stash. If you have to combine 2 or 3 yarns together, do a swatch, get the gauge that you want, and just start knitting. Honestly, you don't have to go buy new yarn. I'm sure you can put 3 fingering weight yarns together to get maybe a worsted weight or a sport weight. But I had this yarn in my stash. I really wanted just a sweater out of this color, but I didn't have enough. So I took the other colors I had, which I didn't have enough to do anything with either, and I just striped it any which way. This is my pattern that I guess designed, but it's just a basic raglan. I've been wanting to write it up, so I might. But if you've made sweaters before, you probably have your favorite sweater pattern. So just go stash diving and, come up with the weight by just combining yarns. And I promise it'll work. And it's really fun, and then it's one of a kind. So yeah, I just wanted to encourage you to maybe try to just mix it up and, design your own. So, okay, as far as designing, I finally did design and write my first pattern up, and I'm super excited to share it with you. I hope to put it on Ravelry very soon, and keep your eye out, because I'll probably do a discount code at the beginning. But it is called One Lovely Sweater, because everyone needs at least one lovely sweater in their wardrobe. This is the little detail. It's just a little feminine detail that I thought was just enough, and it goes perfectly with this V-neck. You can wear, a scarf with it, or a beautiful necklace, or just have it plain, but it's not too deep. And yes, I just love it. So I collaborated with Gina from Skein Cocaine with her yarn. So this is her yarn. She put together some kits. If you go to her website, it's under yarn, then under kits. But it's called One Lovely Sweater, and she put together, I guess 5, I think there are 5 different colorways. This is vanilla. This is her vanilla one. And I also am I ordered yarn from her to make it out of Rain Cloud. So I really love, I'm a very tonal type of person. So I love this. She has a London Fog that has it's very neutral as well. It has some maybe golden tones to it. She has a Blue Ridge with more of turquoisey blues and brighter blues and greens. And then there's one more bubbly, I think, which is pink tones. But anyhow, that is a great colorway, and it is, to get this, she combines her sock yarn and her Surrey Cloud. So this is her sock yarn, and then her Surrey Cloud. So they're beautiful. And the drape is what I love by putting these two together, the fact that she does, gives just a really lovely drape. It's not stiff, it just has movement, and I love it. So yeah, those are the things I have finished lately, which doesn't seem like a lot. I've made some toast mitts and, the name of that? Ringleader, the ringleader mitts. It's a faux cable and it's super easy and super fast and they look really great. So, yeah, so I've been working on a couple little things, a scarf, but nothing that is worth showing you. I haven't finished that much. So as far as my work in projects okay, I started this, remember when we used to be able to travel? I went to Spain. And while I was in Barcelona, I purchased some yarn because I tried on a shawl that was in a really cool store called All You Knit Is Love. Isn't that cute? She had her display, and it's a Stephen West pattern called Milton Mirage, and you knit it out of, I like to, when I used to travel, when we used to be able to go places, I like to buy yarn when I'm in a different country that is local, that is dyed there, that is made there. So this was a boca, hand dyed in Barcelona, and it's held together. I'm not exactly sure what this one was, but it's just held together with this fingering weight yarn. And this is a brioche pattern that I have been working on, but let me show you. I don't have a lifeline in here, and I have a tiny mistake, and it's bothering me. So I kind of put it, see that? Yeah, you can see it. And you would tell me to probably rip it out. And that's what my mother would say, and that's what the back of my mind is saying, but it's really hard for me to do because it's brioche. And brioche to me is concentration, so this was like a lot of concentration. But maybe by the next podcast I film, see, I'm coming back. You will see it like at about this big. I'll probably restart that. And I keep that in my awesome fringe bag, and I love it. So, oh, I did get a new pin. I forgot to put it on there. I wanted to show you. But, so there's that, which is sitting there all the time looking at me while I'm knitting this beauty. Have you guys seen this? Now, it might not look like much right here, but I tried it on. I should put it on for you. And same thing with this as the One Lovely sweater, is the drape is so nice. I'm holding together the modus operandi, one in the fingering, which is wool and silk, and the other one is the mohair and silk. And that's the lace one. So holding those two balls together, which is giving me, I love these colors. So, which is giving me this and this beautiful drape. So this pattern is, I have stuff all over the place. People, I need to find somewhere to podcast where my stuff isn't just thrown on the floor around my feet. But, and I don't really know how to say this, but it's Miramasil. And she has, let me show you, 3 different styles you can make. It's the Cleonis designs, and there are 3 different styles there. Hopefully that's focus. And I am doing the cropped, but I made it longer, with the bell sleeves that are full, not cropped, not 3/4. So, yep. So that is it, friends. Yes, that's pretty much what's on my needles right now. Like I said, a scarf, some toast, little things for, you know, when the kids are talking to me, or if I'm drinking wine, or, you know, you just need something that doesn't require any brain power, measuring, thought, nothing. So I hope you are all well. Oh, I also started a Zoom for knitting, and if you're alone in your home, or you're not, you're just bored and you want somebody to knit with, please reach out to me. We can do a Zoom, a 40-minute Zoom, and yes, might bring some sort of joy to your day, and mine too. So that's about it. That's about it. Stay home, stay well if you can. I'm grateful to anyone out there that is helping us in this awful time. But I'm also looking at all of the bright things that it is bringing us. My heart goes out to you if it's not. So be well. Thank you for watching, and I hope to be back here soon. All right, take care now. I mean, really care. All right, bye.